Aloha and good morning from Maui, Hawaii.
Yes.
Yeah, so today we're at the Maui Ocean Center. You know, if you follow the channel, we love aquariums and zoos, and today we're going to check out the one here on Maui. I go by the legend, shown by my wonderful girlfriend, Molly. Let's go do something different and check out the Maui Ocean Center. Love going to a new aquarium, so it should be a good time. We've now made our way inside. I love the Aloha topiary here. And then with it being Maui, you have the mountains off in the distance. The aquarium is made up of a couple different buildings, so there's indoor exhibits and outdoor exhibits. The first enclosure you get to is the surge zone, which is home to some of the
yellow tangs.
Yep.
Raccoon butterflies.
That's a fun name.
Peanut butterflies. I don't think I've heard of those. I mean, I've seen those, but I didn't know that's what they were called.
You got a cool starfish down there as well.
Yeah. Lots of bonefish.
Yeah. But it's a nice enclosure. Neat to see one in an aquarium where you're not looking through glass. Like looking above fish is not super common. Something very interesting here at the Maui Aquarium, they mention the names of the fish in both Hawaiian and regular. Some of them very easy to pronounce, like olo, and some of them I am not even going to try. Like, look at that. It's like the longest word I've ever seen. The first building you get to is the Living Reef. Before you head inside, there is an outdoor tank with a really cool flounders up close. There's such an interesting fish. You can see one down there. Pretty interesting. You've got unicorn fish as well. We're now inside the Living Reef, which is one cool thing about it, it's all living, real Hawaiian coral. You can see the employee in there now changing things up and cleaning. And it's really pretty.
It is.
I believe they do presentations in here a couple times a day as well. There's a smaller exhibit here about mollusks, including this one, which can close its jaws. That's really fascinating. We're still by the big Living Reef tank. There's a couple different ways to view it, but I like this one because if you pan up, the fish could go right above you. And it's also interesting to go to different parts of the tank because different fish like to live in different areas. You have a round tank here for some smaller fish. Let's see if we can... Oh, it looks like they're cleaning this one too. There's a really cool box fish in here, but he's pretty quick.
I think that they called it yellow tang.
This tank here is home to a couple different types of triggerfish, which they have really tiny little mouths. They're pretty fun looking. There's some other types of fish in here as well. Kind of fun. We caught them cleaning this enclosure, and it looks like there's a little tiny eel down there. Not listed on the guide. It looks like a little tiny moray eel.
Oh yeah, it is a little blue.
You do have some more fish in here, but the star of the show is the really cool orange coral. Like, it's such a bright and vivid color. This tank is home to a fish called the wrasse, W-R-A-S-S-E, and there's 43 different species of this type of fish here in Hawaii. Small enclosure here, but some very colorful fish. Molly, you like the purple and yellow one.
Yeah.
And then the red one's very, very bright as well. Some more really nice coral in here. And then very interesting species of fish where you really only kind of see their big dot. This enclosure here focuses on some stony coral.
Those are nice.
Big enclosure here for butterfly fishes. Very, very bright colors. Lots and lots of tropical fish. You got a neat interactive here about different types of coral reefs. So Molly's going to hit the wire, and the wire is going to be this one. A couple of neat animals in here. You got some shrimp, and then a larger moray eel. Not still a big one. Also, this person has the job I would not want here at the aquarium, going into the moray eel tank. We continue along with the exhibit. We're now in the mid-reef where the sunlight and waves decrease, and that's the kind of animals that live here. got a series here of about 6 enclosures that are very, very small for smaller fish. So small, the camera probably won't even, I think there we go, the Harlequin shrimp. Took me a minute to find it, but I believe it is that right there, yeah. That has some really good camouflage for a coral reef environment. Cool. This enclosure here is home to surgeon fishes. Very relaxing watching this one. So this one, it's not easy, but you gotta find the frogfish based on how good they disguise themselves. He's there in the back. Like, it looks like a piece of stone. But yep, that's the frogfish. Not the easiest to see, but you do get a small lobster over there, native to Hawaii. And there is also even more difficult to see. That fish is blocking it, but there's a crab down there. You can sort of see the legs. But that might be another lobster. Here's a better view of that lobster. Another large enclosure here with a lot of different fish, but most notably is the Moorish idols. That's going to be these tropical looking fish here with the big tail.
From Finding Nemo.
Yes, they were in the dentist scene.
Yeah.
Fun exhibit here. These guys live in the sand. They're garden eels. You can see that one just kind of going in and out of its hole there. Got a couple of them in here. They're really, really neat. Oh, it's another exhibit where you get to play kind of like find the fish.
Did you see those?
And there's a flounder right there.
I don't know if they have any more. Looks like there's a fish under there.
Right up close with a really cool looking seahorse.
Seahorse.
We have now made it to the deep reef. Oh, this is really cool. Over here, moving around, it is a night octopus. A species of octopus I'm not quite familiar with, but also rare to see him move around. Another colorful tank here, the fish that hang out in the deep reef. Another large enclosure here. I'm guessing you're probably getting a couple views of this one, as it's home to numerous types of fish, but definitely blacktip reef sharks. This exhibit here focuses on how a lot of the fish that live in the deep reef are all colored red.
You can do the loop twice.
This enclosure here focuses on black coral, which really pops with the black lighting. Kind of makes me feel like I'm in Avatar. Now this exhibit might not seem very interesting at its surface, but this black coral is worth the price of gold. And here we do get to that larger view of the tank that has the blacktip reef sharks in it. You can see one of them over there. And it's a really, really nice enclosure. Probably the big window is 20 feet wide by 10 feet tall. There comes some sharks. Here's something you don't get to see in many aquariums: coral rehabilitation. I've been to plenty of aquariums that'll have like sea turtle rehabilitation or manatee rehabilitation, but this is the first one I've seen that does the same for coral. This next exhibit is dedicated to one of the most famous animal residents here in Hawaii, the green sea turtle. Looks like they're all underwater at the moment. But Molly, you like this here.
I do. It shows the eggs and how the turtles hatch and have to dig their way out of the sand.
Yeah. Now let's go to the underwater viewing to see some of these guys. And here you can see the turtles swimming around. Looks like there's at least 3 of them in this enclosure. All of them are a little bit of the smaller side, not some of the, sometimes these sea turtles get really, really big. They all seem pretty active at the moment. They're such cool creatures. There is a touch tank area if you want to touch some urchins and starfish. Kind of cool. You do get to see the sea star move a little bit.
Moving very slowly.
Very slowly.
But it's moving.
Yeah, it's not a super common occurrence in one of these touch pools. There is a lookout tower to look at the Maunaleha Bay. And a lot of pretty views here in Maui. Another outdoor enclosure here is Nursery Bay. This one is kind of tough to see with the glare. There are a couple of blacktip reef shark pups in here. Just not the easiest thing to get a view of based on the angle of the sun. We're here pretty early on, right after they opened. Heading into the next exhibit, which has sharks, tunnel, and sea jellies. I really like the, like where you can take your family picture kind of thing.
Yeah, the entrance.
Yeah, with the waterfall and the humpback whale. It's really pretty. As you enter this next building, the theming level, really neat in here. Kind of feels like you're getting in line for a ride. Now, with this being the Maui Ocean Center and not just the aquarium, there is, this section is kind of like a museum all about Hawaii and some of its legends and gods, and there's artwork as well, and their connection with the sea. In a really interestingly lit tank, this is a fish pound. There's a beautiful round tank here for some very, very large jellyfish and some very small jellyfish. This is it's really well done, really pretty. This is something very different for an aquarium to have. These little tiny things, those are brine shrimp. Not something very common to find in a zoo or aquarium. And here are some upside down jellyfish. I like that they have a little tiny one. And we have made it to what has to be the biggest enclosure in the entire aquarium. Really cool. I also like that there's bleachers set up so you can hang out, sit down, relax. There's sharks, there are rays, there are very large fish. This one's pretty neat. Here you can see one of the big rays swimming by as well. Along with a couple different species of sharks. So there's a couple different viewing areas of the big shark tank. And I like this. You've got like 3 movie theater style chairs where you just hang in, sit down, just kind of take it in. I also find the enclosures kind of interesting that they have those the beams of light that come down. That is something you don't really see at many aquariums. But yeah, this chair, I could sit here for a while. This is really nice.
It's really nice. It leans back too.
Now, like in many aquariums, there is a shark tunnel. So once you exit that big window there, you come over here for a tunnel in which the sharks can swim on all sides of you. Like the blacktip reef sharks just swim by. I watched the big tank for a while. Like I've been here 5-10 minutes. First time I've seen these giant pufferfish swim by.
There's 2 of them.
Also pretty neat when you're in the tunnel. There's part of it with a glass floor. The newest exhibit here at the Maui Ocean Center is dedicated to the humpback whales, which is obviously they can't have humpback whales here at a zoo because they're gigantic, but they're a very, very famous species. That Maui, the humpback whale season is what, like December to February or so?
I think March.
March, okay. And they've got a 3D movie in here that I'm excited to check out. I love me some immersive theater kind of stuff. So let's go check this out at this exhibit. All right, Molly, what are you doing here?
Making whale noises.
That is something. The exhibit sort of acts as a pre-show for the theater. Now, the room, I read about this on the website, it's designed to be like the shape of a humpback whale. So when you see these, like the big wooden pieces, that's how big a humpback would be. And you got a really cool curved projection screen with some cool footage on it. This exhibit here is really neat. It's like a projection map, topography map of Maui, and like this one here, these are tracks a whole bunch of different killer whale movements and how they would move throughout the islands, as well as showing some other things like this one here, whether they're high density or low density areas for the humpback whales. Really neat. So we just got done watching the 3D film in here. I thought it was really cool. The dome theater works really, really well, and the seats recline. And it's 3D, so the humpback whales are life-size. Really well done. I imagine this must have been very, very expensive for them to build. But I thought it was cool. Also, you can't have the humpback whales, obviously, in an aquarium tank. But this was really, really neat. Definitely don't miss it if you're coming here. You've got another outdoor pool here entitled Discovery Pool. I think it's kind of neat because we've got a lower enclosure and a higher enclosure. with different types of fish in there.